The Gen Z stare is a very real thing, and I've experienced it on several occasions. Hi, I'm Joe. I work customer service, and I have a master's in hospitality from SYBAU. The Gen Z stare is a live-action Error 404 where the individual cannot locate the resources needed to participate in basic human interaction. They disassociate as a defense mechanism because they are overstimulated by verbal commands. I'll give you an example. 3 days ago, I had an interaction with the customer, and I thought it went relatively well. I was polite, kind, friendly, inviting, entertaining. Granted, for most of that interaction, they were just staring at me, but I did great on my part. They were very quiet, and I understand why. I recognize the effect that I have on people as an apex extrovert. I can be garrulous and aggressive. But then yesterday, my coworker pulled me aside. He said, "Joe, do you remember that guy that came in the other day that you talked to?" I said, "I don't know, maybe. Describe him to me." So he did, and I knew right away who he was talking about. I said, "Oh, Merrick. He just moved here recently with his wife, 20-something-year-old, firefighter. Great guy. What's going on?" My coworker was like, "Well, he came back in, and I talked to him, and he had quite a few things to say about you. He said he didn't like the way that you talked to him." I said, "What do you mean he didn't like the way that I talked to him? All I did was talk to him. Are you sure it was me he was talking about?" He said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was you he was talking about. He described you perfectly. He said you were a medium white guy." And I said, "Well, did he know my name?" My coworker said, "No, he didn't." Which is ridiculous because I was wearing a fucking name tag and I talked to this guy for 15 minutes. That's right, 15 minutes I talked to this guy, and that's all the information that he retained. Medium white guy. He didn't even say that I had a mustache and tattoos. Granted, I am the only medium white guy who works here, so I guess it worked out in his favor. That means that he stared at me for an extended period of time, and he retained almost no information about me. Could you imagine if I had robbed this dude, how that conversation with the police would have gone? Did you get a good look at the suspect? Can you describe him to us? What the fuck?